Another rookie in the NFL, Caleb Williams, just signed his contract with the Bears, and it took a while, even though they're on a rookie scale. So there are only so many things to negotiate. And the salary obviously isn't one of them. But the big news that Caleb Williams asked, and he's represented by his family, like his father, but he asked, Rob, the Bears to not franchise tag him, or I'm assuming it was drop your right to franchise tag me.
Right, that's what he asked
after,
for, 'cause it's already right.
After my rookie scale contract is up. And the Bears said no. And I mean, that's interesting. I will say this, Rob. I'm surprised that that's even like an option.
You could negotiate
even do
anything,
that.
Chris. You could do almost anything and have somebody take something out or add something. It's just negotiating. Most of the time, a team's not going to give that up because it's it's the ultimate hammer. It's the
really
worst.
is.
It's the worst deal that any organized labor could put on their workers, Chris. It's so one-sided.
It's bad for the workers, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But they keep agreeing to it.
It's so one-sided. It's ridiculous. Like really, it's so bad. And I'm gonna give Caleb credit. I'm gonna give him Charlie Hayes credit. Thank you for at least Chris putting it out there and asking for something that doesn't work in your favor. I'm not saying that I thought the Bears would do it, but at least to even bring it up and say, man, like what is this? Who agreed to this ridiculous rule, a collective bargaining agreement that basically handcuffs us for years to come? I mean, it is such a bad
You can have the guy
situation.
for 7 years,
right,
without him getting like a real contract. Relatively speaking,
it's a bad deal, and I give him credit, Chris, for even approaching that or even having that. We haven't heard too many players who have they just, hey, I'm happy to be in the NFL.
Well, like I said,
I've
kind of assumed that it's not even negotiable. But here's the thing, Rob. He was not, and it doesn't seem like from the reports that he really pushed it. You know what I mean? It's kind of been reported like he asked, they said no, and he let it go and they moved on. I don't know if that actually is how it happened.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But that's what it seems.
It is.
Well,
in the
here's
CBA.
what I want to
You really
ask
can't-
you, though.
Right. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm, like I said, I'm shocked that it is even something you could negotiate. And obviously, you make sense when you say, well, you could negotiate anything, but you couldn't go and say, well, look, I want a real deal. Forget this rookie scale thing. Give me a real contract. I'm like, the biggest prospect in the last 5 years. I mean, I don't even think you could do that. So that's why I'm even surprised that this is something
Chris,
that could be considered.
I gotta assume even in the CBA, right? That's like the minimum. You could ask for stuff, and if somebody really wants you, could they work around, circumvent? Like we
the
talk
rookie
about,
scale.
I've said circumvent it. I'm not saying that they're going to give you more money than is allowed, but there might be some other thing that they allow where they say, you know what? We can't give you the money you want.
No, there are other.
Okay?
Yeah, there are some other things, but that's
where
I'm surprised the franchise tag is one of them. And maybe look, I'm not saying I'm right. It must.
But Chris,
I haven't seen it written that it's not one of them.
But Chris,
my point is, go ahead.
Here's the thing that you're not thinking about. It's not automatic. Like, people don't automatically give you the franchise. So a team has an option on whether or not to use it.
The team does.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
The players
that's what
don't start getting that option.
No, but that's what I think makes it negotiable, is that a team can say, we're not using the franchise tag on this guy or that. You know what I mean? Like, they have an option. It's not like written in that you have to use it if a player becomes to a certain point. You could say, no, I'm good, we'll let you bounce, or you know what I mean, or whatever. We're not going to offer you a franchise tag. So since it's an option for a team, I'm saying that's why he could ask for it.
But I don't know if that's, I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying, like, his dad, Rob, who represents him, as I said, reportedly was talking about wanting like a percentage of the team he's drafted by, and stuff like that.
That's against bylaws. You can't own a team and play.
But I'm just saying, they're all collectively bargained.
Right, but Chris, you don't have to use the tag, which is the difference. Is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. Do you know for a fact? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm surprised this is even negotiable, and I don't know why some. I'm not saying it's not. I guess it is, but the thing is this, Rob. He was not in asking for that. You know this. You're not just potentially going against the Bears. Every owner in the league would have been like, if they were considering doing this, none of the owners, Rob, wanted the Bears to do that, because then it sets a precedent. And every number one pick coming after that, and other guys would be wanting, like, hey, you can't franchise.
But the Vikings did that when they gave Kirk Cousins a fully guaranteed contract, and they flipped out. Or when the Browns gave Deshaun Watson that deal, Chris, people like they did do that. Like there were teams that went rogue. That's why they used to hate Al Davis. You remember that in the league? Al Davis was always in trouble with the league because he was doing what he wanted to do.
Well, and then they stopped, and then none of them followed suit with the fully guaranteed deals.
Right, so but I'm just saying, but teams.
But I think I think they value this, and they value the not fully guaranteeing deals too, obviously. But I think they value this so much because, as you said, that is such a hammer that, because I wonder, Rob, like, if indeed it's negotiable, what was to stop Caleb Williams from being like, well, look, if you want me to play, you gotta take this clause out about the franchise tag. I mean, if you're gonna ask for it, why not go all the way?
Yeah, I don't.
You got the leverage.
I don't know if that's how he wanted to start his career or whatever. Like he.
No, that's a tough way. I mean,
yeah,
I
agree.
Saying
I think
I'm not saying I would do that or you should do it. I'm just saying if you ask about it, and maybe, like I said, maybe it wasn't a long drawn out issue. Maybe he just said, "Hey, any way we can get this off?"
Right.
No,
like you just asked. We're
it.
sitting there, whatever. And then you never know. I mean, who knows if somebody might say, hey, you know what? If this means a lot to you and we want to start off on, you know what I mean? Like sometimes one of my old radio partners, Mike Stone, had in his contract, Chris, every time he did a contract, that if Bruce Springsteen is within 50 or 60 miles of wherever he is, he gets the day off to go to a Bruce Springsteen concert. That was in his contract. Wow. So Bruce is playing somewhere, within, I said
right.
It was like 200 miles. So if he's in Cleveland, you know what I mean? He get the day off. He could, because he was a big Bruce Springsteen fan. So my point is, most people aren't getting that in their deal, right? Like most people just aren't getting that. So you ask, you never know what they might give you.